Shalom, shalom, everyone. This is Yehudah with a very different Sabbath day class today. This is one of our most important classes I think that we have ever had. This is one of those classes that we're going to put on the internet for everyone to be able to hear. You know, we've been around for a while. I think we've been around for about 6-7 years now, trying to get information out to everyone, trying to make sure that people understand what's going on. We have had radio shows. We have taught classes. We have YouTube clips on YouTube for you all to be able to go to. And our YouTube channel is Yehudah Project, and it's Yehudah. We have had several people call us down through the years asking different questions about why we teach the way we teach and why we do the things that we do. Now, I want you all to know something, is that everything we've done during the period that we have been here has been under the inspiration of the Ruach, the Holy Spirit. Yah has given us the mandate to do the things that we're doing today, and we have come to a conclusion, you know, that the word of Yah is right on point. It does not fail. It will not fail, and we are so excited today to be a part of this movement and to see the things that are getting ready to happen in our lifetime. This is some powerful stuff right here. And I want to say something to everybody that is listening under the sound of my voice. And like I said, from the elite and all the way down to the music industry people, to the movie industry people, to everybody from the business owner to the regular lay person to the pastors, the teachers, everybody. We have been for years begging you to listen. We have been there through most of the catastrophes that have happened to us as a people, the murders, the shooting of the police by the police, all the things that we've been right there, right in the midst of it, trying to get your attention. Well, I'm going to say something to you today. I'm about to share something with you today. It's normal. I'm going to tell you something. Everybody be like, well, everybody could have watched that. They could have. It's normal. But when I really began to watch it, and the most I began to speak, it's anything but normal. So I want to be able to share this with you right now. Please pay attention. This is the time. We've been telling you guys to store food. We've been telling you to store water. We've been telling you. This is the time that you need to pay attention. Okay, so what are you talking about, Yana? What is going on? We gave everybody a chance to call your family members and tell them to get on this line, and that you can share this when we get ready to put this out there. This is what's going on. Yesterday I was at work, and I received a phone call from my sister, from one of my sisters. And she said, you're not going to believe what I just saw on the local news. I said, okay, what did you see? She said they were interviewing a man on the local news who was talking about the existence of UFOs. I said, okay. She said, and he said that there were so many of them out there now that something needs to be done and the people need to know about it. I said, okay. She said in space. She said there's so many of them out there in the sky, so to speak, that there's something that the people need to know about it, and it needs to be made available to the people for them to know, and the countries need to come together to get together to figure out what's going to be done for this thing to be brought out. Now, this is on the local news. It was on WCPO. That's our Channel 9 news. So I said, okay. I said, well, she said, I have never seen this on our news channel before. I said, okay, no problem. Hung up the phone. I called the news channel. I talked to the lady at the news desk. I said, what is going on with the UFO in the interview that you all had put on there this afternoon? Now, this was in the 12 o'clock in the afternoon that you all put on the 12 o'clock news. She said what it was, she said it was an interview that we ran on our network channel with our network news, and what it is this person. Now, she didn't tell me who the person was. She said this person they're putting together a television show on the History Channel, and that's what we ran on the news. I said, okay. But then down on me, I didn't think of nothing of it. I was like, okay. So this is going to be a regular series on the History Channel. She said yes. I said, oh, okay. No problem. So I told one of the people with the Nation of Yehudah what this was and where it was and everything. And so today, I got a chance to see it. And I was like, oh, this is nothing but another documentary where the people are chasing down UFOs and they trying to prove and they trying to do this. And, you know, that this is just something that they normally do. Because I've watched it all. I've watched SETI, where Dr. Stephen Greer has come together and brought all of the people from the different countries together. And they've had conferences and they've had seminars. And they've had all this stuff. So I've watched all that. I was like, oh, this is just another one of those. And then I watched it. And I watched it some more. And then I sat down here and something said, when do they ever advertise a program like that on the local news? When do they do that? Why would they do that? And I said to myself, I said, now that don't really make no sense unless, I said, that just don't make no sense. So I said, on the local news at 12 o'clock in the middle of the afternoon, they're running an interview that they're talking to somebody, and I'm going to show you who he is in a minute, where they're doing an interview with this person that's telling the people about UFOs that have been seen. I said, well, we've seen that before. This ain't new. But I watched it. So I stopped it at a point because I want you to watch it, and I want you to watch it with me. And then I'm going to open up your mic, and I want you to tell me what you think, and why would they run this on the local news in the middle of the daytime? But it was something particular that this person said at the end that made me sit back, and I said, oh, my God. So I'm going to play it for you because I want you to see it. All right, here we go. I'm not going to open up nobody's mic because I don't want nobody... I don't want any interference with this. I just want you to be able to see this. So hold on. I'm getting ready to open this up where you can see it. Hold on. I got to open up my phone line so you can hear it. Because I'm not even going to put my phone on here. I'm going to put another phone so you can hear it and see it. Just 1 second. This is off the chain. I mean, I was like, oh, my God. You know, to be able to see them do this right here, it's something. So I'm unmuting this phone. All right. And I'm getting ready to open up the screen so you can see it. And I want, hold on, here we go. And I didn't have this for today. This is not what I had planned on doing. But I still want you to be able to experience this. All right, here we go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute my phone so you don't hear me. And I know you guys can see the screen because the green part is on. So I'm going to put this down, and here we go. I want you to hear. I want you to listen to everything they say very closely and pay attention to the people that are involved in this particular show right now. Hold on. Here we go. I'm cutting this on.
My name is Tom DeLong. A lot of people know me from my band Blink-182. I started that band when I was 16. But I got to that point where my daughter was 2 years old and I was gone for 2 years straight. And I really, really needed a break. The only other thing I was ever interested in was UFOs.
DeLong walked away from stardom and dedicated himself to disclosing what he believes is the truth about UFOs.
I needed to get into the government, and I needed to find the people that deal with this subject and let them know what I'm thinking of doing.
DeLong says he was able to secure a meeting with a high-level aerospace executive with deep connections to the military.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I had an opening. And I just go, I am not naive to this subject. I understand the national security implications of this subject, but I am asking for your help because I need guidance. I just need somebody to help me and give me advice. And he leans back and he goes, okay. That's when my life changed completely.
Soon, DeLong was covertly communicating with powerful people, including General William McCaslin, the former head of a billion-dollar Air Force research lab, and John Podesta, the former presidential advisor who once said his biggest regret in the White House was not releasing the government's UFO files.
Tom called me out of the blue, sort of, who is this fellow and why is he calling me? And we began to chat, and I began to chat with some of the other people he was talking to, and he clearly was establishing a network of people who had serious credentials. There are people like me who see this as an incredible mystery and enigma that needs to be resolved.
DeLong says they were all part of an elite group of high-ranking officials dedicated to UFO disclosure, but they wanted to remain in the shadows.
Do you think there's a way over time that we can open up some of these discussions, declassify material?
We ought to be serious about investigating what's going on. Other countries have done that. Other countries have declassified the information they've had.
He's one of the most tenacious individuals I've ever met. He got to the highest levels of the U.S. government, to include Podesta.
Hello, South L.A.!
But in October 2016, on the eve of the heated presidential election, DeLong was thrust into a media storm.
WikiLeaks released more emails.
The result, it appears, of massive hacks into the National Democratic Committee, private email account of Clinton campaign chair John Podesta, and who knows who else.
DeLong's communications with John Podesta and others were stolen by Russian hackers and published online by WikiLeaks.
The one rule they had is we will help you, but don't go out and tell anybody who we are. That's the only rule.
Overnight, DeLong found himself at the center of the decades-old debate about UFOs.
I think a lot of people thought that Tom DeLong was being used, was being used as a tool. They'll tell him some stuff that's not true, and it'll be a diversion, and we'll fool the Russians or fool the Chinese.
George Knapp is an investigative journalist who has reported extensively about UFOs.
I'm just going to ask you point blank, is Tom DeLong being controlled by a small group of powerful insiders?
No. No, I think Tom DeLong has plotted out his own course. He's got some really good advisors who are not part of the government. All of these events that have happened are because Tom DeLong used shoe leather, knocked on doors, made phone calls. What Tom has started in the last year is unprecedented, I think, in the history of the study of this field.
By the fall of 2017, DeLong had assembled his team.
Thanks for joining us live today.
Then he learned the head of the Pentagon's secret UFO program had resigned in protest and wanted to join forces.
It was Luis Elizondo. It was the guy that I wasn't supposed to know his name ever. It was the guy that worked at the office of the Director of National Intelligence. And they said, but there's one other thing. There's the first 3 videos of UFOs are going to be declassified for the first time in U.S. history.
Oh, my gosh, dude. Wow. You can now select your ad experience. Interact with an ad.
That's the guac smasher?
The guac smash?
Hold on while we go through this slight commercial break, but I want you all to pay attention to everything that's being said from this point on, because we are going to find out that there's a lot of government officials that are involved in this, that's making this happen. So I just want to say that so that we would know what's going on here and listen very closely to the things that they say. You know, because this is something that is very important in making this happen, you know, as we move forward here. So it's all a part of that, and we have to know that for sure. So I just wanted to put that on the record so that we would have it. Here we go.
Understands what it means for America to be under attack. On 9/11, he was one of the highest-ranking officials inside the Pentagon.
I have lived through and survived intelligence failures, including the attack on the Pentagon. This was a group of 20 guys with no special skills or capabilities or technology, and they were able to wreak massive havoc on our country. To me, what is most interesting about this case Most pilots don't report these kinds of incidents, or people are bringing information in cases to us, which is a sign that, we're establishing some credibility and some presence.
Now Mellon's out of government, part of an elite team of investigators, raising the alarm about what they see as another potential aerial threat.
What is really motivating me right now is the Nimitz case. We had multiple naval aviators in what they saw in broad daylight over an extended period of time was corroborated by the most sophisticated sensor systems, air defense systems on Earth. Any reasonable person would have to conclude defies present understanding of what aircraft are capable of doing. It was clearly something beyond the pale.
Chris Mellon is an interesting character. He's never been very public. His jobs have sort of demanded him to work behind the curtain.
Mellon hails from one of America's richest and most powerful families. The Mellons made fortunes in oil, aluminum, and banking, and wielded power for generations. But Chris Mellon found his calling in intelligence, overseeing the budgets for some of America's most secret programs.
I was at the Senate Armed Services Committee, and a report emerged indicating the United States had lost a nuclear weapon. So they sent me to try to find out what happened to the missing nuke warhead.
Back when I was a junior person in the Department of Defense, we all knew who Christopher Mellon was. This was a man who had all the secrets.
I was at Area 51 talking to some guys there, working some programs, and I said, do you guys ever see anything really strange? I was almost embarrassed to even ask about it because of the stigma surrounding the topic. And much to my surprise, these guys said, yeah, we see some really strange stuff here at night.
The deeper Mellon looked into the controversial subject, the more he began to question why the government was doing nothing about it.
Here's a guy who presumably would know or be able to find out if these sightings were related to some very secret military program that these Nimitz pilots, for example, were not aware of. And clearly Chris doesn't seem to think that these instances were military aircraft being tested in secret. He feels so strongly about it that he came out of the shadows when it's not really in his DNA to do that.
Chris Mellon and Lou Elizondo weren't the only officials within the government concerned about a potential threat. The Pentagon Secret UFO Unit, ATIP, was established by a small group of senators, including former astronaut John Glenn, World War II veterans Daniel Inouye and Ted Stevens, and former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid.
It's amazing that an individual who worked at such a high level for so long as the Majority Leader of the United States Senate would choose this among all of the myriad of issues that he engaged on, with all of the challenges confronting our country today. And this is one that he chooses in the twilight of his career to try to carry forward.
In 2009, Reid sent this letter to the Deputy Secretary of Defense, arguing America needed to study the potentially groundbreaking technology behind these bizarre craft before it got into the hands of our enemies. Reid requested a small unit with one of the highest levels of secrecy. It was the birth of ATIP.
He's making that case, and that the strategic implications are so great that we have to accord it special protection.
This wasn't the first time the U.S. government studied UFOs. The Air Force launched Project Blue Book in 1952, when a rash of UFO sightings put the nation on edge.
This is David Brinkley in the radar room at Washington National Airport. On these radar screens last Saturday, they saw something strange and unusual and, at the moment, unexplainable. It was not an airplane. It was not a cloud. Nobody knows what it was.
For the next 17 years, the Air Force studied over 12,000 UFO sightings and found 701 cases that couldn't be explained. But they concluded the incidents posed no national security threat and officially shut Project Blue Book down in 1969.
It wasn't lack of compelling information. It was actually the result of compelling information. Ultimately, they determined that they needed to tamp down the concern, the public concern, in part because during the Cold War, this could create some kind of hysteria and overwhelm our air defense systems. So the government behind the scenes concluded that they needed to discredit this phenomenon.
Mellon claims Project Blue Book created a stigma around UFOs that continues to this day inside the military.
I talked to people in the Pentagon who had relayed that they were concerned it was going to make the Defense Intelligence Agency look bad. They were more concerned about the optics of it.
I wonder if at some point this is going to go down as a historical document where people are going to look back and say, you know, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. That was heroic.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
You can now select your ad experience.
I'm sorry.
Interact with an ad for 30 seconds and get right back to your content.
Here we go. Let's get this out of the way real quick.
That's the guac smasher?
The guac smasher.
You know what's in all of this food.
Yes.
I'm sorry about that. You guys got to see this, but I want to be able to put this on here so you can see, and we getting ready to touch this in just a moment, because the big part is at the end. It's at the end. That's when I sat back and said, whoa. So I just want to be able to get to so I can lay the groundwork, because I didn't just want to play it at the end. Just give me 1 second and we'll be back on here with our information. All praises to the Most High. And I'm getting ready to put this online just as soon as this is over. Let's see what we're doing here. All right, here we go. All right, here we go.
I was never formally debriefed, and I wasn't taken seriously for years.
For over a decade, the accounts of 2 Navy fighter pilots of an encounter with an unidentified craft south of San Diego were dismissed by the U.S. Navy.
If I had been a single-seat pilot and I had encountered it by myself, I probably wouldn't have said anything. I wouldn't want to risk my security clearance. I wouldn't want to risk people thinking I was a freak or crazy.
You actually get 4 people that are eyewitnesses to the performance of this thing, and then nothing gets done. So the frustration that comes out of that is why?
It was not only ridicule, but then the intel people didn't seem to be interested in their story. It was the worst of both worlds.
For months, Lou Elizondo and former Assistant Deputy Secretary of Defense for Intelligence Chris Mellon had been working behind the scenes to organize a meeting between the 2 pilots and members of Congress.
If people see the evidence, they'll understand and they'll find it compelling. Sometimes it's only by bringing the information public and bringing it to the attention of Congress that you get action.
Elizondo is driving across the country when one of the pilots, retired Navy Commander David Fravor, calls to tell him the unprecedented meeting has just taken place.
Fantastic. And they ask you some hard, good questions? On the record? Oh, my God. Phenomenal.
Fravor tells Elizondo that he and his wingman pilot met in secret with members of Congress responsible for national security.
Oh, dude.
The senators don't want their names revealed because of the sensitivity of the issue. The press was not informed, and the meeting is not found on any official schedule.
Do you feel positive that it was well received? Well, congratulations. You just made history, brother. Again. For the first time in history, U.S. senators were briefed for the record on UFOs affecting U.S. military aircraft and operations.
For Elizondo, this meeting is the first step in an effort to wake lawmakers up to a serious threat to national security.
How does the story end?
I have no idea who it was or what it was. Maybe it's Elon Musk or somebody out there coming up with some, disruptive technology that's going to change our lives, like an iPhone. If you'd show me an iPhone when I was in high school, I would have thought it was voodoo magic. I hope it ends peacefully.
You have to ask yourself, is it E.T. or is it Independence Day? What's the intent? And right now, we don't know.
All right, hold on. Now we get into the good part. Did you hear what he just said? He said you got to ask yourself whether it's E.T. or it's Independence Day. He said, but right now, we just don't know. Now, I want you to pay attention to this part right here. And I'm going to stop it when he say what he say, and then I'm going to rewind it. Here we go.
I promise I will try not to yammer on too long. I don't think necessarily disclosure is an event. I think it's a process. And I think that process began.
Okay. He said, I don't think that disclosure is an event, but it's a process. He said, and I think the process has begun. Watch what he said.
For us, the American people, to know that there are certain countries that have nuclear warheads pointed at New York and Los Angeles that could wipe out millions of people in an instant. And yet, we don't trust the American people to know that there's something in our airspace that we don't know what it is. There's a lot more I don't know than I do know. But that's okay. That's why we have to continue to seek to find the answers and collect the data. Because ultimately, the data will speak for itself.
I think the public is closer to understanding the UFO mystery than at any time in my lifetime. It's astonishing. And yeah, it's a little bit scary.
What's worst case scenario?
Okay, here we go. The man just asked a question. He said, what is the worst case scenario? Watch what he says.
I would tell you already, it's too late, because it's here. So we have a choice. We can live with our heads buried in the sand and hope it goes away, or we can take our head out of the sand and try to figure out how it works. But it doesn't really care what we think in this room, because it's here.
Let me go back again.
I would tell you already.
Go back.
The data will speak for itself.
I think the public is closer to understanding the UFO mystery than at any time in my lifetime. It's astonishing. And yeah, it's a little bit scary.
What's worst case scenario?
I would tell you already, it's too late, because it's here. So we have a choice. We can live with our heads buried in the sand and hope it goes away, or we can take our head out of the sand and try to figure out how it works. But it doesn't really care what we think in this room, because it's here.
All right. Now, I'm getting ready to, hold on just a moment. I want to be able to put this down, and I want to be able to give everybody feedback. I'll put this phone on me. All right. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but did they just do disclosure? Was that a form of a disclosure? Now think about this. I thought about it. I said the fact that they first advertised it on a local news channel about the show coming on, the people who are on this show are ex-government officials, ex-Department of Defense officials, parts of Congress is involved, and now all of a sudden they're advertising this show on the local news at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And the fact that the man just said, it's too late. What's the worst case scenario? It's too late. He said disclosure is not an event, it's a process. Did they just start the disclosure process with as far as the weapons are concerned? I am getting ready to open up your mic. I want to know what your feedback is. Area code 540, your mic is open. Area code 614, your mic is open. Area code 702, your mic is open. 717, your mic is open. 757, your mic is open. 770, your mic is open. You guys can start talking if you want to. Let me keep on moving. 773. I'm going to go down with the area code 816. Your mic. Did this man just do disclosure or what?
Yep, he did.
Did he just tell people? He said it's too late.
Yep, he did.
I'm serious. I was sitting back like, oh, my goodness, gracious of mercy. 903, hold on, let me get these mics up. 904, and I didn't.
For the past couple of days, in my backyard, I'd go outside and there's this light, like an orb, sitting out there. It's been out there for 2 days. I wake up in the morning and go to work at 4 in the morning, and it's still there. So it's not a planet, and it's not a star, because stars and planets move throughout the night. And it's not an airplane, and it's not a helicopter.
Oh, well, I know that is. That's
So I've taken pictures of it, and I would like to share them with you some kind of way or other. I don't want to send them through email because, you know, the government can back emails and all that other stuff. So I'm not sure how you want to do this, but I took pictures of it.
Okay. And you say it's been out there for the last couple of days, huh?
It might have been out there longer. I just noticed it a couple of days ago, and I've been out there every night and took pictures of it.
Wow.
And it has not moved.
Okay, now, I'm telling you guys this. I'm unmuting everybody's phone. I don't, Sister Sanaya, I know yours is unmuted because I heard you in the background. I want everybody to have an opportunity to be able to say something and to give your feedback on this, because I just was like, okay, you know, when she first told me, I only told a few people. And I was like, okay, you know, she said it was an interview. I've never seen this before on the news. Well, they actually put this on the news. You know, the stuff you've been telling us isn't real, blah, 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 blah. So, like I said, I called the news station because I wanted to be able to pull it up online and show it to you all myself. But when I called her and we had the conversation, she said this interview was done by our network channel. And I'm saying, okay, network channel, local news, telling people to watch a program on TV. Who does that? So then I get to the program, and the man says on the program, what's the worst case scenario? He said it's too late.
Invasion.
Oh my goodness.
Already here.
You know, and like I was telling everybody, we have been telling you guys for years to store up food, to get water together, to start getting your stuff together, you know, and if this wasn't a form of disclosure, I don't know what was. I mean, I think everybody's waiting for them to come in from the press room and stand over the bench and say, ladies and gentlemen, we have an urgent announcement to make. By the time we get to that point, it's too late. I think that's what everybody's waiting on, to be able to say. And he just told you, the man who just told you that was a part of the Department of Defense in the Pentagon, the special department that runs the investigation on the UFOs. He quit his job so that he would be able to do this, because he said the people were not being notified of what was going on. This man walked away from his job.
Well, the Russians were trying to tell the United States government that they need to disclose information on these ETs. The United States government has always, ever since the 40s, have not said a word about them. The Roswell crash, I mean, they kept on claiming that it was not a flying saucer, that it was some type of weather balloon that they had sent up and it had fell back down. So these people, these white people that are in charge, because that's actually who was doing it, they're the ones that is keeping things from us. And also when you go back through history, and especially during the Egyptian time, you look at the hieroglyphics and you see the type of machinery, flying machinery that was available. I saw what looked like a daggone Apache gunship. I saw also what they looked like, what they call a land speeder from Star Wars that was defying gravity, didn't have any wheels. I saw also what looked like a submarine. I saw also what looked like a flying saucer. So these people know, because they have been studying not only Egyptian but also some the Samaritan drawings. They've had contact with these things. There was one white guy. He was an old guy. He was dying. He confessed to another white woman that he had seen and met black ETs. He confessed that. Another thing was that out in the Pacific Ocean somewhere, I kept hearing rumors about the U.S. Navy plus the Chinese Navy was at war fighting UFOs. That news came, went, and gone, and they kept it hush, hush hush. Now here it is. You got the Chinese building these islands out there, out there in the out there in the South China Sea, 600 miles away from China, and yet America is sending warships out there and planes, and the Chinese is up there raising a ruckus. It's like they want to show us one thing, but yet something else is going on that we're not supposed to.
Yep, absolutely. And you know what? That was the whole issue with the emails, with Podesta in the emails. They got a hold of his emails and found out that Podesta was communicating with this young man, and that he was saying, I'm going to help you, but you keep my name out of everything, and I'm going to be willing to put the man, listen. You know, we've been telling you all this for a long time. You know, that this was coming, that they going to show up, and that this is this, and this is that. And everybody been laughing us out the box, our family members, everybody. But any time they put this on regular TV like this, it's getting ready to be something serious jumping out for this to be like this on regular television. And these people are government officials. Now, these ain't UFO conspiracy theorists, people that's chasing around. These are people walking away from their job to deal with or retiring from their job. This is what's going on. And the man said, what's the worst case scenario? What did he tell him? He said, it's too late for that. It's too late. So evidently they already here.
Yeah.
And somebody getting ready to show themselves for this to be out here like this, and a lot of people can't handle this. I'm telling you.
Well, that was a radio program back in the 30s, or not the 40s, that showed that what would happen if an invasion was to happen from outer space. And the people went crazy in this country. People were killing themselves. They were stocking up on food and guns and weapons and all kind of. And the thing was, it was a radio program.
Exactly. And that's why they're doing it.
War of the World.
That's why they're doing it like they're doing it right now. They're doing it in a very subtle, soft kind of way. They're doing it so they don't cause pandemonium. But, I mean, they just did disclosure as far as we're concerned. They just told us.
They have been massaging our brains with an invasion from outer space ever since the movies came out.
You heard the man say he don't know whether it's E.T. or Independence Day. We don't know. So evidently they know they're up there, and there must be more of them up there than they can deal with, because why would they even bring it out? They've been saying all this time, the American people need to know. The American people need to know. Well, guess what? Now they just done told us. The government done told us.
Yeah, in a backwards way, yeah, because they did.
They just told us. Without causing pandemonium. And not only did they just tell us, but they put it on the news first so that people would be able to see it on the news, that it was coming on television, to be able to get innovation. That's all I know. The news lady, that's all I know. I was like, okay, all right, that's fine. I said, when's it in? She said, hey, that's all I know. I don't know nothing else. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, look. Okay, you know, I ain't panicked. I said, okay, well, I gotta watch it and see what this is, because, like they say, by the time they reach regular television, and you have government officials, ex-government officials, who, and like I said, this man walked away from his job, and he said the people need to know. In other words, we running out of time. And the guy said, well, what's the worst case scenario? He said, it's too late for all that. That means that's telling me that something is getting ready to fall.
Mm-hmm. They keep saying that there is stuff behind the dark side, of the moon. Just out of range. And that when the astronauts, when they were traveling to the moon, as they were going towards the dark side, they kept hearing this strange music. And it's like, it's not coming from Earth.
Wow. And then when you think about, I got you, Eric 405, hold on. When you think about everybody that's hearing all these sonic booms, I was just watching that the other day. These ladies, these people in different cities were saying it's a strange noise coming from the sky. It's like a boom. The lady said it shook my whole house. She said, and don't nobody know where it's coming from. The military said they ain't the ones who doing it. They don't know what it sounds. She said it sounds like a crane is dropping something in the air.
Wow.
Say it's waking people up out their sleep. Something is happening to the point where they know it, and they don't want to cause pandemonium.
It's not invasive.
Why would they put it on the local news? Why would they come on the local news and tell you this going to be on TV?
Not CNN, not Fox News, huh?
No, it was on the local news, Channel 9 in Cincinnati at 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
I heard it too, sis. Also, I've been following it, and only because what had appeared in front of my driveway, and I've had 2 more visitors, but the Most High told me not to even put it on YouTube.
Okay. And that's a good thing.
And I didn't do that because they told me not to, because the other 2 sightings I saw, it actually shot up in the sky. And it was a flash, like a, it wasn't even stormy, but it was like a storm, it went like a ship just took off. And I kept it, but he told me not to disclose it at all. So I've been kind of following up on, trying to see, okay, maybe somebody's seen it. Maybe they're going to say something on the news. And then I heard what you did, and I said, oh, they're putting this on local news?
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about.
That's unbelievable. There's something going on, and that's why I know.
Go ahead, sis. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to get excited.
Well, I'm excited, too, except that, like I said, I've been following it. I have, because of what I've been seeing in front of my home. And I haven't seen any other more sightings, just that. I seen it was 2 more, and the last one was so magnificently, so obvious that even my kids were saying, Mom, why don't you put it on, and I said no. The Most High told me not to.
Don't do it. Because one thing you don't want no military people knocking at your door. That's a no. Yeah. You got a reason. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't do it. I always follow y'all. Don't even do it. This is serious business right here. Like I said, local news, to tell you all what's coming on television, that had to be orchestrated. They ain't going behind nobody's back. They know what they're doing. They putting this on. They doing this very, very subtly. They're doing this. And again, like I said, we've been on this radio show and on this class for at least 5 to 7 years. And it is time now for you all, without panicking, go get your stuff stored up. I don't know what's coming, but everybody been feeling like something coming. And everybody like, man, we gonna make it to Washington, D.C. Yeah, we're going to make it to Washington, D.C. We going. But whatever it is that they're trying to prepare you for somebody to say it's too late for all that now. What's too late? Why is it too late? What's going on that it's too late? Area code 770. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, this is my first time. All praise to the Most High. This is my first time listening in. I recently came across your classes. And
yes, ma'am.
I decided to call in
to
be a part of the class.
What a day to call me.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't expecting to hear anything like this.
I know you wasn't. So how did it make you feel?
I watch a lot of sci-fi, so it's not scary. I mean, it is scary in a sense, but I watch a lot of sci-fi, so if they've been telling us anyway what things that, at least that's what I've always thought.
Absolutely. Well, we welcome you to the class. Please don't hang up. More information. We don't want to scare nobody away, but at the same time, the Most High does things for a reason.
Yes, he does.
He does things for a reason. Yes, he is amazing.
Totally
yes, he
amazing.
Is.
I don't know what I was expecting, but I certainly was not expecting that.
Well, you know what? This is our supernatural Saturday, our supernatural Sabbath, and what a supernatural class has been today. Area code 717. What do you say?
Well, we saw a white horse yesterday in the sky.
Say again?
We saw a white horse yesterday in the sky. It was formed within the clouds.
Oh, you saw something?
Yes, we did in the sky.
Wow.
Ooh, oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah, where we live at, we saw the chariots. Yeah. We were out in the deck because we live like in the mountains, and you seen like a red chariot come from up in the mountains, and then to the right of it there was another one, and in the military, and then all you seen was a fallen angel that fell from the sky, and then out of nowhere they disappeared in all these planes. You know how they try to cover the skies with the chemtrails and everything?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they came and they tried to cover the sky, and the sky was all dark and everything because, yeah, they don't want us to see it. They don't want us to see God's truth. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I mean, Israel's going to see all kind of stuff before it's all over with. Anybody else?
E.T. phone home. E.T. home to Donia.
Okay, yes, sir. What's up, Brother Donia?
Yeah, I want to say, and I'm not sci-fi guy. You understand? I'm not so. I watch the movies and all of that stuff, and I hear what you're saying. But how does that affect Hebrew Israelites?
Okay, somebody answer that. No, hold on. Somebody answer that question for him. How does that affect Hebrew Israelites? Somebody want to answer that? I mean, because everybody push one.
I believe it fits the prophecy.
What prophecy?
It has been. I believe it's Isaiah. I'm not quite for sure where in Isaiah 61 when he saw there was something he described that was in the sky, and and also look what Ezekiel saw. He's seen a wheel in the middle of a wheel. And
yes, he did.
People always think about, a wheel, and we sing that, and we don't know what we're singing, but he saw something in the future that was happening to us at our time. So I believe that it fits the prophecy. Yes, it has something to do with with us. I really believe Most High is coming after us, and it's just warning to let us know to get ready.
And weren't we led out of Egypt by a chariot?
Say that again. Say it one more time, brother. What you say?
Weren't we led out of Egypt by chariots?
You
Weren't
better
there
come
a
on.
chariot with us the whole time?
Yeah.
You better come on here. Yes, we was.
Yes.
Yes, we was.
It's got a lot to do with us.
It has a whole lot to do with us. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And whether or not people want to accept it or not, or whether you guys is afraid of it or whatever it is, it has a whole lot to do with us because not only is y'all's chariots coming, but the other people coming too. Evidently something's getting ready to happen, and it's going to pertain to everybody. It's going to pertain to everybody.
Well, I got a little something to say. There's also Deuteronomy chapter 30. When you go to Deuteronomy chapter 30, and it talks about he will gather some of us from the outer reaches of spaces. So we got to realize that something coming here, and some of us are going to wind up going on the wrong vessel.
That's what I'm talking about. Hello? Would you say that again? Would you please say that one more time? Matter of fact, let me get the scripture for you. Because a lot of this I'm so glad you said that. I am so glad that you said that because people don't believe. People tend to believe what they want to believe. Hold on, let me get it. I'm going to get it for you. And then I'm going to read it, and then I want you to say it again. Hold on. Okay. Here we go. He said Deuteronomy chapter 30. We're going to start with verse 1. It says, and it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whether the Most High thy Elohim have driven thee, and shall return unto the Most High thy Elohim, and shall obey his voice, according to all that I have commanded thee this day, thou and thy children with all thy heart and with all thy soul. Watch what he say. He said that then the Most High thy Elohim will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Most High thy Elohim have scattered thee. This is what he's talking about. Verse 4. If any of thine, that means Israel, if any of thine be driven out unto the outermost parts of heaven, from there, he said, from thence, will the Most High thy Elohim gather thee, and from there, he said, from thence, will he fetch thee. So somebody going to get on the wrong ship, or they're going to be taken up somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
Say that again, brother. Would you please repeat that one more time? Just one more again.
Yes, and what that is, that some of us going to get on the wrong vessel because some of us going to get taken by the wrong people. There are ships here, and I feel that. Remember, we had a conversation before. I told you that I was doing some other stuff with the Nuwapian Nation years ago, and there was a brother, that guy that was leading that. I told you it was shaky. That's why I got out of it. He looked real weird, and this stuff he was talking about, there are going to be some people look just like us.
Yep.
They're going to fool us, and some of us going to go on the wrong ship. We got to pray, hold fast, like you said in the beginning, because some of us going on the wrong boat. We're going on the wrong ship. Because just because somebody come out of the sky and they got dreadlocks and they dark skin and supposedly look like us, don't mean that we need to just go and fall in love with them. And I think that's where Israel some of us gonna mess up at.
Yep. Yes, sir. I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. If it were possible, the very elect would be fooled. Because all Israel got to do is see a spaceship and see a black person coming off of it, and automatically that's Yah. That's Yah. Oh, my God. Yah's here. No. Mm-mm. Yep. Not today. Nope.
We would like to thank you for listening to our show. Of course, there's more content to that, but we want you to come on the show so that you can be a part of our audience and give your feedback. We appreciate you all listening. Don't forget, we have a radio show on tomorrow, which is Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The phone number for the radio show is 718-664-9551. Again, it's 718-664-9551. We thank you for joining us. Don't forget, we're meeting in Washington, D.C. on September the 7th, 2019 for the 2019 Day of Repentance. And we're having people coming from all over the world, and they're kneeling with us all over the world, and we need all of your assistance and your help. The website for this particular event is www.2019, which is 2019 dayofrepentance.us. Go on our website and support what we're doing. If you can't be there, support us by buying a T-shirt. All of that, go to our store tab on the website, and it'll give you the website for the T-shirt store, and support us by doing that. If you can't make it, definitely go down with us in prayer if you can't be there. All of the Israelites around the country, around the world, ought to be bowing down with us as we go before Yah and asking for forgiveness and saying that we're sorry, so that we can be delivered from the lands of our captivity. And again, we want to say thank you for being a consistent support to the nation of Yehudah, and we hope to see you on Sunday. And on that note, we say shalom, shalom to everybody, and thank you so much for joining.